My name is Fulukia Kani. I'm the Sustainable Communities Liaison at Citizens Utility Board, and I'll be talking to you today about the home energy savings presentation today, just ways that you can save on your utility expenses and ways that you can save on mostly your utility expenses, avoiding utility scams that might be out there, and also talk about some programs out there that can help you save on your utilities. When I'm talking about utilities, I'm talking about mostly your electric and gas, and then some tips of like how to like reduce that your energy use and also save on those costs as well, especially during these times. This is being recorded, so if you have any questions, feel free to leave them on the chat box and somebody will get back to you. So just a little bit background about who we are. Citizens Utility Board, we are nonprofit. People usually see us as a watchdog. We represent utility ratepayers. So whenever a utility like ComEd or NICO or People's Gas try to raise a utility rate, they have to actually seek that raise hikes from the Illinois Commerce Commission, and that's where we step in. So when ComEd and NICO might be arguing for a side of things that benefits their company and for profit, we come in on behalf of the consumer and we represent our data, our argument to the ICC on behalf of consumers to make sure that everything's fair, equitable from a consumer aspect place. So we also do a lot of also educational programming. So whenever folks have any questions around their utility bills or utility expenses, usually during this time we'll have been in person kind of presenting to people, but right now we're doing stuff virtually. So we talk to people about doing stuff like this webinar, about talking to people about what you can watch for on your utility bill, understanding your utility expenses, understanding your utility bill, looking for red flags on utility bills, avoiding scams, ways to save money. And we also talk about some of the consumer protections laws that have been passed when it comes to your utilities and then just expenses in general. We have a 1-800 number. If you see it on the screen, is 1-800-669-556. It's our offline number, open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. where folks can call in and ask questions about any issues they have with your utilities. Or even, for instance, you have tried to call your utilities, maybe you've tried to call NICO Gas about something that you saw as a red flag on your bill, and they've been giving you the runabout, and you haven't actually gotten a clear answer, you just got a generic answer, you can give us a call and we'll be able to assist you and advocate on your behalf. We also have ways where we can give you a one-on-one personal analysis of your bill. So we have virtual utility bill clinics where people can actually email, scan their bills to UBC at Citizens Utility Board. You can definitely redact any personal information that you have on your bill and send it to us, and we'll give you a call, send you an email, whatever your preference may be, and we will talk to you one-on-one on ways that you can actually save on your utility bill and give you a one-on-one personalized recommendation. Our main goal is basically just to advocate for affordable and sustainable energy in the state of Illinois. So we want to work with you. So if you know of any other organizations, or if you know of any individuals that might need our help, feel free to always share our information. We're glad to work with people, and individuals and organizations and partner with them on different issues when it comes to utilities. So this is just what people really think about us when you see Citizens Utility Board, mostly as a watchdog, and that is a dog. So it might look like a pig, but it's a dog. Our main concern is to make sure that consumers are happy. So we want happy consumers. So you see on this picture is my boss, Sarah, talking to some folks that she met at a tabling event, and she's helping folks understand some of the programs that they can sign up for when it comes to savings on their electric bill. So we want to make sure that also like folks are happy when it comes to some of the programs that we talk about, and some of the things that they can take advantage of as ratepayers and consumers. So a lot of these programs that we talk about, and I'm going to talk about in this webinar, they just don't come out of nowhere. They don't come out of thin air. Most of them come because of great policies that have happened. So folks that have advocated for policies in Springfield that have passed some of this energy efficiency program policies and ways that folks can kind of take advantage of things that can help them save money. And then also helping on the passage and design and implementation of those programs and good policy is what kind of makes those programs exist to people. So there's a lot of our work, a lot of lobbying, a lot of advocating, a lot of people calling their legislature. And if you want to learn more about ways to actually take action at this time, feel free to go to our website at citizensutilityboard.org and sign up for our newsletters. We give out newsletters, I think, weekly, and where folks can sign up for petitions, sign up and look for ways to kind of take action, especially during this time. This is basically just a process of energy policy that have passed over the years. Talked about the 2011, that's when we had the smart grid system, smart meters installed. So we're trying to build a smart grid system in the state of Illinois that's reliable, and there'll be less power outages, brownouts, and this helped to start that process in 2011. And then in 2016, we passed the Future Energy Jobs Act. And then now in 2020, we're looking to pass the Clean Energy Jobs Act, the Clean Energy Jobs Bills that is going to increase more solar and renewable energy in the state of Illinois. So today I'm going to talk about understanding your bill, what green plans are. We have a lot of people call our office and even ask us questions when we're on the field about green plans. Talk about some utility consumer protection laws that have been passed, especially during this COVID-19 season. And then I will talk about energy efficiency programs and peak demand programs that are out there for folks. So first, how to look at your bill, how to understand your bill. So this is just a bill for one of our colleagues, Julie, who works for CUB. And this is just an example of a comment bill. You can see it's 2017, but it's still the same format of what a comment bill should look like in 2020. So the first thing that we look at really is to see who your supplier is. In the state of Illinois, you can choose your supplier. So that means that your supply, what you use on a daily basis, can either come from your utility, which in this case would be ComEd. It can come from your municipality aggregation. In Aurora has a municipality aggregation that we'll talk about. So that means the city council members of member bodies of in the city council in Aurora came together and they chose a supplier, and they kind of came up with a good rate for the suppliers for the city of Aurora. Or you yourself can choose a supplier. We usually kind of recommend people not to choose a supplier because, hopefully you guys is this better? Can you guys hear me with sound? Okay. So we usually kind of recommend people not to choose a supplier because most of the suppliers that people have signed up for in the past may have given you a low rate the first 3 months. So let's say you sign up for X, Y, and B supplier, and they say they're going to give you a lower rate than ComEd, and the third or fourth month, they've actually gone higher than the ComEd rates, and you probably didn't notice, but you still are paying maybe 2 or 3 times more than the actual ComEd rates. Also, some of these companies have been fraudulent in like people signing up for contracts and things that they didn't understand. And sometimes people, sometimes they go door-to-door knocking. So pre-COVID-19, some of these folks were going door-to-door knocking, saying they were from ComEd, and trying to save, folks can get 30% off of some kind of deal. So they come door-to-door knocking, or they call you on the phone and say, we'll ComEd, we will give you a 30% discount some kind of deal. So ComEd, so those are not ComEd, those are fraudulent third-party suppliers. ComEd will never go door-to-door knocking on your door, and they will never communicate, they will never call you. Their only communications will be via email or snail mail. So once ComEd wants to talk to you, they'll either give your email or snail mail, unless you call them first. So you want to make sure who your supplier is. So right here in this bill, it says ComEd provides your energy. So she's good. On this bill, it says ComEd provides your energy. If you see a different name on the bill, you might want to go to, you usually have the website of that company and the number. You might want to just call that company and cancel out of the deal, the deal that they might have. In Aurora, you might see LGO Energy as your provider, because that's the municipality aggregation for folks in Aurora. So that's still a good deal for your municipality aggregation. Delivery is always going to come from ComEd. ComEd is the one that maintains the lines and makes sure that electricity is going to you. And then you have your taxes and fees. Another thing that we look for on your utility bill is how you use your electricity over time. So in this graph right now, you see our colleague Julie has a higher use than most. One of the rules, I guess, the average use is that during summer months, if it's 90, sorry, not 90, that's still low. If it's 900 kilowatts or higher, you're using too much electricity. So in the summer months, if you're using 900 kilowatts or higher, you're using too much electricity. In the non-summer months, if it's 600 kilowatts and higher, you're using too much electricity. So an average usage for like a single family home or a use would be like 900 during the summer months. So if you can see here, in June, July, August, she is using over 900 kilowatts. And also during the non-summer months, you can see December, January, February, she's using over 600 kilowatts. So you can tell from with this graph that she's using a lot of electricity. So one of the questions I would ask if I saw this on the field and saw someone who has an high electric usage is, one, do they have like an extra refrigerator, extra freezer that is causing them to use a lot of electricity? Because those, especially old refrigerators and freezers, use a lot of electricity and can cost you a lot of money. Also, I want to ask the person if they are all electric building, meaning that if their home is all electric, meaning their heat and their electricity is all electric. And I'll ask that person also other questions, like if they have, like, again, the refrigerator, if they use like heating, if they have like a electric heater. Sometimes most people have like electric heater running throughout the summertime, and then they have the AC units also during the winter nights that has those two appliances, AC units, window AC units in general, and also electric heaters use a lot of electricity and can make your usage go up and also make your costs go up. So ask that person lots of questions to see how they're using their electricity at their home. In this case, with Julie, she has a family that stays, she has kids that usually use a lot of Xbox and stuff, use a lot of electricity. And also her husband works from home, spouse works from home. So he uses a lot of electricity with his IT job. And also they have a heat pump that uses a lot of electricity. And some kind of attachment to the home. So that's why the electricity uses high throughout the year. So in this kind of situation, I'll also kind of recommend some programming to them that can help them save on their utility expenses and give some recommendations. Another thing that I would look at is also that your meter number starts with 2. Since your meter number starts with 2, that means you have a smart meter. Having a smart meter means that you can also take a part of some of the energy efficiency programs that are available to you. And then one of the things I'll also talk about is the update section. So in the newer ComEd bills, they have the price to compare, where folks can actually compare their price. ComEd will have their price to compare of what their rate is, and folks can compare their price to their municipality aggregation or to a third-party supplier as well to see if their rates are good. So in the newer ComEd bills, you will have the price to compare of what ComEd is charging you for your supply, and you can compare that to other suppliers as well. So the current utility rate for ComEd is 6.73 per kilowatt hour. So ComEd usually has two rates. They have the summer and non-summer months. So this rate will be good until the end of September. And then by the end of September, you're going to have a newer rate for the non-summer months that will be for ComEd. So this 6.4 is pretty low for ComEd. You usually have them at around 7 cents per kilowatt usually. So this is a pretty good rate for the summer, especially for the summer where people use a lot of electricity. For NICO gas, they have 24 cents per term. The rate of gas usually changes every month, and they usually prorate your bill accordingly. So usually NICO has been around the 20-something cents per term. It's actually gone down a little bit. So you'll see that also on your bill. So Aurora has, again, I said, the aggregation program rate, and it's with Elio Energy is the supplier, and they actually are they're actually matching you with ComEd's price to compare rate. So you're actually paying the same rate as a ComEd consumer. So if you can either opt in or opt out, I feel like, because their prices are the same, it's not comparing prices anymore. It's basically just saying if this is something that's a good fit for you and your family, and that's about it. The same thing goes with your NICO bill. Again, you want to look at how much you use over a period of time with your NICO bill. So I'm looking at terms. Usually, again, this is just an average. Usually when we look at folks, especially during the winter months, if you're using over 400 to 500 terms during the winter months, so that's January or February, that means you're using a lot of gas. And I'll ask questions about about insulation and air sealing to your home, how you're using you're setting your thermostat, stuff like that. If your rates during the winter time is usually an average of 400 to 500 terms, I'll ask you more questions about that. But if you're below 400 terms during the winter months, then you are basically an average user when it comes to gas. I'll also look at your estimated and accurate readings. So if you have estimated in your readings, then I will tell you to call NICO gas so that you're not paying above or below your actual supply use, because you don't want to pay too much, or you don't want to pay too little, because at the end you probably have to kind of pay something at the end that you might not have. So it's just better to actually just be on an actual usage and get an actual estimation of your usage. And then also look for the message for you section. I want to see what they say in the message for you section to see if you're with NICO gas, because the same thing that happens with electricity is the same thing that happens with gas, is that some folks can also sign you over without your knowledge to a third-party supplier, and you might be paying a different rate than the NICO gas rate. So I'll try to see the message for you section and to see if you have another, if you have not just one page, you have 2 pages with your bill, that might be a red flag. If you have more than 2 pages to your bill, or if you have 2 pages, more than 1 page, if you have 2 pages to your bill, that may be a red flag that you might be with an alternate supplier. And usually they have the message for you section, but then they'll say some kind of the company's name on the message for you section, but they also have some kind of different other costs associated to your bill that will be on the next page or below your energy profile over here. Again, your cost will be, again, prorated because the price of gas changes every month. And then delivery will come from your NICO gas. They will always deliver the gas to your home and maintain the lines to have the gas run to your home. We recently helped pass the HEAT Act along with the Attorney General's office. Well, this act basically is a win for consumers. It helps put more pressure on some of these fraudulent third-party suppliers that go and pick, especially on senior citizens and lower income communities. So it gives the ICC a sharper teeth in dealing with some of these alternative suppliers. It also ends early termination exit fees. It also makes sure that the marketing materials are clear and that the contract is clear for folks to sign before they sign up on contracts that they don't understand. So again, more of consumer protection that has been passed, especially when it comes to these alternative suppliers and some of these bad actors. Some of the things that have recently been passed this year has been due to COVID-19. I'll talk briefly about the protections, and this might be good for you or your family to have. COVID-19, some of the protection law has been passed is that there's been a freeze on disconnection and late payment until September 4th. So that was on Tuesday. So I don't think they haven't actually extended that. So there was a freeze on disconnection, no payments, and late payments until September 1st. And then there's actually a provision also for financial hardship. So folks who've had furlough days or folks who've lost their job during this time, there's also provisions for you when it comes to financial hardships and so ways that can help you, assist you in paying your bills. Also, folks who've had disconnections between June 18 of 2019 and then also until 2020, they might request and receive like a delay in their disconnection from their utility. So a customer has to like actually call their utility, so that may be ComEd or NICO Gas or whoever your utility may be, and ask them to ask for this request for you to not be disconnected at this time. Again, there are exceptions to this rule. So if it's unsafe or if there's been tampering with some kind of metering, again, that might be an exception to reconnecting you. You also have more flexibility when it comes to deferred payment arrangements that you can make with utilities. Also, up to down payments that can be made. So you have more flexibility when it comes to that, especially for folks who want to, if you call your utilities, there's more flexibilities. I would say if you're behind on your utility payments and have some, your backup in your bills, I would say give your utility a call first and try to see if you can get a payment plan arrangement for that as well. For folks experiencing financial hardship, they have this financial assistance available to you. So for ComEd, there is a 500 assistance maximum that you can get from ComEd. You will just have to call ComEd and say, experience some financial hardship during this COVID-19 time. And they will take you through their process and intake process and kind of help you with that. And then they kind of decide how to administer that grant and that financial assistance to you. For NICO Gas, I think there's a 300 financial assistance cap that you can also get from that as well. So that's being run through different, I think in Cook County is being run through CEDA, and then different counties are running it differently. But again, I'll say again, give your utilities a call, especially if you feel like you're behind on your utility expenses and payments, and try to, again, if you've experienced financial hardship with ComEd, you can get financial assistance, and also with NICO Gas, you can get financial assistance from them as well, especially during this time. Again, can call ComEd. This is the number to apply. and then call them, or you can go on their websites and see how you can apply to this for financial assistance. Now to the fun stuff. So I'm going to talk about some energy efficiency programs that can help you save money. One of the things I'll talk about is the energy efficiency, saving money on energy efficiency products. So ComEd and Nickel Gas has a free energy efficiency assessment where folks can get free energy saving products installed to their home for free. So it was put on hold before, but now it's back on. So folks who would like to get any of this energy efficiency product installed to their home, they can get this for free to your home. One of the reasons why this is free is that if you look at your NICO and also your ComEd bill, there's an energy efficiency tax on your taxes and fees section that all of us as ratepayers are paying for that. So that funds this program, and that's why it's free. So it's technically free, but we're all, as ratepayers, paying for it as well. So I'll say take advantage of it. If you're a homeowner, town homeowner, you can take advantage of it by just calling ComEd and Nickel Gas, or just basically calling ComEd, and they will schedule a time for you when you're free and they're free, and they'll come in and install those products. And I know right now they're doing it in a safe way, so folks don't have to worry. But they have a pretty neat process of how they are making sure that they're installing things to their home, to people's homes for free and safely. So some of the programs and products you can get through this free home energy assessment is you can get a programmable thermostat installed to your home for free. You can get those LED light bulbs. So they come in different ones. They have the cool, warm, different bright light LED lights that you can I think the energy consultant from ComEd will see which one applies to your home and give that to you and install that to your home for free. I really like LED light bulbs because they use 90% less energy than the incandescent light bulb. So if you're using 90% less energy, you're saving. So again, the less energy you use, the more savings you can get. So the LED light bulbs are pretty cool. They also give you a faucet accelerator installed to your home, low flow shower heads. You can get the smart power strips also for a discounted rate. So with smart power strips, the way they work is that even though like you have your computer might be off, and maybe you have a computer, it might be off, but it's plugged into an outlet still, it's still using some kind of some kind of electricity. So the way the smart power strip works is that it helps kind of eliminate some of those vampire phantom effects that happen when you have the stuff that's plugged into the into your outlets. So it's good to kind of eliminate. It's a good way to kind of, again, save a little bit more money on your electric use. And it's discounted. You can get it for a discounted rate for like $10. And I think in Walmart and Walgreens, you can get those for like $35 if you go to Walmart or Walgreens. But with this program, it's a discount rate for like $10, I believe. And then you can get a smart thermostat. Those are like the Nest or Eco thermostat. I think the common one is the Nest thermostat, where it's attached to your smartphone, and you can actually increase or lower your thermostat even when you're away on vacation. So it's a pretty good products and energy saving products. So all of these are free, except for the discounted items, and you can call them, and then they can schedule a time and they install that to your home. Again, it's a free service, but we're all kind of paying for it. So now I'm going to talk about some new and old pricing. So I'm going to talk about what the traditional electric rates are. Peak time rebates, basically it's like a carrots, basically gives you an incentive to do things to lower your electric bill, and then talk about some real-time pricing. So one of the questions I have is, when do you use the most electricity? So us as individuals, we use electricity when it comes to like refrigerator, coffee, hiring, dishwashing, cooking, And then when society uses the most electricity is like when we are all about, like usually during rush hour, we're using the most electricity with offices, like yeah, usually offices. Willis Tower uses a lot of electricity, but we, all of us, use the most electricity. Really use the most electricity usually during the summertime. So we use most electricity in the summertime, and the main culprit is basically our air conditioning units. So our air conditioning uses a lot of electricity. So that's why you see most of your bills usually go higher during the summertime. It's because of the AC units that we have. So usually with the hourly pricing, so I'm going to talk about some of the fixed rate versus hourly pricing when it comes to this and how it can save you money throughout the year, especially during the summertime. But most of us usually have this fixed rate where right now, this is kind of outdated, but like right now for ComEd customers, we're paying 6.4 cents a kilowatt. So that means no matter what the time of day is, midnight, noon, uh, during the day, afternoon, we're still paying the 6.4 cents a kilowatt throughout. No matter what usage we're using, we're still paying that 6.4 cents a kilowatt. If you're with an alternative supplier, if you're with like XYZ supplier, you might be paying higher than that 6.4 kilowatts that we as ComEd customers are paying for right now. Hourly pricing basically is an alternative way to pay for your electricity. Alternative way to pay for your electricity, alternative rates. Basically, it's you're paying a different rate hour to hour, day to day, a market price rate for your supply side when it comes to electricity. So usually, if you see this green line, even though it's changing hour to hour, day to day, you're actually still paying below that 6.4 cents a kilowatt. So usually you're still paying that below that 6.4 cents a kilowatt. So let me, you know what, let me just share the screen. I was going to go to a live one, but never mind, sorry. Let me start from here. So this is just saying that it does go higher in the summertime where you have like a day where it might be pretty hot and it goes high a few hours, then it comes back down the next few hours when it comes to hourly pricing rates. So here are some examples of like hourly pricing rates. So the red line is the actual price of electricity that we're using when it comes to, oh, sorry. The red line is the actual price of electricity that we're using when it comes to the price, when it comes to the hourly pricing rate. And the blue line is what the projected electricity to be for that period. So this is an example of hourly pricing for this year in April 19th. So this was when I was still like, when we were all really starting to the shelter in place. And you can see on that April, the real time for April 19th, you can see like at 6 a.m. that day, it was like 0.5 cents a kilowatt. And then the highest it got that day was like, I would say like 1 point something cents a kilowatt, almost 1.5 cents a kilowatt for that day. So if you compared it with what the ComEd price was that during April, during April, ComEd had like a 7.1 price 7.1 cents per kilowatt. And if you compare that to that 1.5 cents that you were paying for that day, you could say that you're actually paying lower, pretty low, very low than the ComEd rate. So you can see that most of the average basically during that time period is around like 1.5 cents a kilowatt that you're paying. And then at 4 p.m., if you wanted to do your dishwasher during that day, you're paying 0 cents a kilowatt to do your dishwasher during that day. And this was April 9th of this year. Again, there are times where it does go high. So this is of July 29th of last year, where again, it went high, but it went up to like almost 5 cents or so, about 5 point something cents a kilowatt. So I think this is a really good, the hourly pricing is a good program for folks who have a high electric usage. So if you know that you have a high electric usage, like the people saw earlier, if you have a high electric usage, this might be something that you would like to consider and look into, and that can save you, potentially save you money on your electric bill. The one thing about the smart meters that we have is that it also gives you a way to look at your information. So if you have, we all have smart meters by this time, but you can go, if you have a ComEd account, you can log in and you can actually see how you use electricity. So it shows you your electric use throughout the day. So this is an example of someone's electric use where they had breakfast almost at 6 a.m. and you can see that a little bit skyrocket a little bit during that time when they were making breakfast. And then during the afternoon time, they ran dishwasher and it went up a little bit. And then when they used the toaster oven for dinner, again, it went up a little bit. So you can see with the smart meters, it kind of shows you how you use electricity, and that way you can be a more informed consumer. So this is like the savings that you can have when it comes to your hourly pricing. Once you sign up for that program, you get an email basically showing you, I think it's a monthly email, I'm not sure, but I feel like it's a monthly email where it gives you of what you have paid when it comes to fixed price, what you paid in your hourly pricing, and then again your savings for that, for being part of that program. Again, this is, again, if you have a really high electric usage, you might want to take part of it. This might be a good program to take a part of. Especially if you have electric cars and electric heating, hourly pricing might be the way to go, especially if you have electric car, if you have electric vehicle, and most especially if you're an all electric building, you use your electric for heating and also for cooling, this program might be the best way to go. Peak time savings. So we talked about, like, we use most of our electricity during we have the most use of electricity during the summertime. So there's a peak time savings program where it gives you incentive to use less electricity during the summertime. So if you were to sign up for this program, you get something that looks like this that says, oh, on August 28th of this year, from 3 to 7 p.m., can you use less electricity? So using less electricity can be not using your dishwasher during that time period, maybe unplugging and turning off your appliances for those few hours and kind of going for a walk and coming back again, or maybe partial for those few hours. Maybe it might be just turning off the lights, maybe using a small lamp, or whatever it might be that might be convenient for you. And by doing anything to save on electricity during that time period, you get a dollar amount applied to your bill. So this is also a no-risk program. So like if you, for some reason, can't do, maybe you have a lot of meetings during the 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. that day, and you can't save on your electricity during that 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. that day, there is no penalty for not doing anything. It's more of an incentive program for if you do something, they'll give you some kind of a dollar amount to your bill and savings on your bill. So this is a good I'm going to talk about the AC cycling program. It's a good program for folks who have a central AC. So this is also only for ComEd customers who have like central AC. Basically what happens with the AC cycling program is that if you have a Nest, you can easily enroll with that program, but the way to enroll with us, like ComEd, you can contact ComEd and then they come into your home and kind of put like a device into your compressor, and that compressor, they time that compressor to cycle in and cycle out during peak days of that to June to September. Usually during this time period, ComEd is only, during the last year, I believe they only called just one peak day where they actually turned off the compressor and the fan was still going, cycling in and out air. But for the June to September period, they can kind of like help cycle in and out here. You have the you have the 50% or the 100% option, where if you choose the 50% option, you can get $5 credited every month to your bill no matter what. And then for the 100% option, you get $10 credited to your bill no matter what. It's a good way to save on your, I guess, money, especially during the summertime. And they might, again, there have been times where they haven't actually had to call, they haven't had to call that many peak days during for this program. So it's a guaranteed way of saving $5 or $10 or $20 to $40 every summer. I think that's about it for me. Thanks for tuning in. This is Folukia Kane again from the Citizens Utility Board. If you want us to actually take a look at your bill and give you a personalized recommendation, feel free again to just take a picture of the bill and send it to UBC at Citizens Utility Board, and one of our colleagues will get back to you and kind of give you some recommendations. Well, thanks for having me, and I'll end it over to Janet. Thank you.